All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Hands and Heels. It's Caulfield Cup Day this weekend. I'm Paul Sebastiani. Adrian Daher's with us. Vince Loccisano's with us. We're fresh off backing some winners from last week as well. Adrian's led the punters into She Dancers. He led the punters into Jaya. Vince found a few winners as well, and McTube got the job done each way for the punters. So we've got to continue on with the momentum of last week, gentlemen. AD, how are you?
Good, Paul. How are you? Vince, how are you?
I'm good, boys. I'm surprised you're with us today, Adrian. I expected you to still be counting your money from last Saturday.
Nah, look, it's actually been a good sort of 8 weeks lately. I've adjusted my model and my pricing structures, and it's been an above average or an overachieving sort of 6 to 8 weeks. And Saturday wasn't last Saturday at Caulfield wasn't any different. And hopefully we can continue it. It's just another day for us, really, to be honest with you, mate. Sort of used to it. It's just status quo.
Making me jealous.
No, it's taking me a long time to figure it out. Making those adjustments to what I needed to do with my model and my pricing, it's pays dividends. But hopefully, mate, you're only as good as your last bet. So hopefully this Saturday we got something for the punters.
Yes.
Exactly right. And then what we'll be doing, because Vince will get excited at the back end of the program, because we've got harness racing across the park, which you'll touch on, and then we've got speaker racing down the highway at Geelong. So let's get stuck straight into Caulfield, ladies and gentlemen. We have a cracking day coming up on Saturday, not just racing-wise, but weather-wise. It's going to be an absolute beauty. About 26, mid-20s they're predicting. No wind, no rain, no clouds, sun in the sky. AD, how are you expecting the track to play? It looks like it's rail in the 3-metre position, so maybe 1 to 3 off, something like that, up on the speed, or potentially leading as well. I think it's going to play pretty fairly, I'd have thought. Tempo and talent related.
Yeah, no, pretty close. So last Saturday was in the True, and then the meeting on the Wednesday, they had it at 12 metres. And upon reviewing the meeting last Saturday, fair to conclude that it played fair. They're going to need to put some irrigation on the track here, boys, because it's been relatively dry. I did say today that they put 10 mil of irrigation, and that still presents in a good 4. And I suspect tomorrow they're going to have to put 10 mil of irrigation. And I expect an upgrade to a good 3 very quickly. As for the pattern for the day, you probably need to be handy the pace. I will be walking the track straight after this, so I'm hoping we get this done before daylight. If not, I can do it tomorrow. But I will be walking the track tonight to get a better idea. But I get the distinct impression I'm going to notice that the first 5 or 6 lanes is probably where you want to be early in the day. So, yeah.
Sounds typical Caulfield on a nice dry day. So let's get stuck into race 1, shall we? Race number 1, Brave Mead is the favourite. Kaizad and the instructor around about the same price for the Waterhouse Bot Army. And then we've got a couple of others at double figures. Interesting race. I thought Brave Mead, AD, and Vince was screaming out for 1,400 metres off its first 2 runs. His prep. He started $8 in a Group 1 size produce over 14. I had it on top. No real value at the price. I thought Kandinsky Abstract could improve going up to 14 with the blinkers off. Did you have an opinion, AD, on this?
Not really. Gay and Bot's pair will share the lead. Kaizad and the instructor. Looks to be a moderate tempo over 1,400 metre event. Brave Mead, the horse you touched on, Paul, I suspect will sit just behind him, stalking them with Magic Mogul to his right, and Kandinsky Abstract for James McDonald and Chris Waller, and Reprisal, the next pair behind them. I don't have much of an opinion here, guys. Market's got it right. Got no edge in the race. I'm not really interested.
Yeah. The only runner for me was the 6, maybe something small each way, but this is a tough race. Vince, what did you think?
I'm with the favourite. I like the favourite.
Yeah, Brave Mead.
Number 2.
Right connections as well, I think, for this type of race. But
probably looking for that 1,400 metres too, fellas. Like first 2 runs, 1,200. Probably they'll just probably just waiting for the, and Mini Valley. Like it's easy to see. I know he's won there before, but he's probably step up in distance. Maybe Caulfield might do him better. He might get that gap at Caulfield.
Yeah, I want to see him flatten out. I think he's going to get that beautiful stalking run behind the Gay there, and just needs a bit of luck. Race number 2, the Caulfield Classic, as it's dubbed, the Neds Classic for the sponsors. A direct line into the Caulfield, into the Vic Derby. Riff Rocket, who went like a rocket at Flemington last start, $1.35, $1.40. Nothing for me here. The only two runners I wanted to put an asterisk on, who are of real intrigue for me, and number 3, Apulia, who was, of course, scratched from one of those Derby trial runs at Flemington. I know he ran in the Superimpose and was beaten out of sight by Riff Rocket, but I think it can be a big improve of the 3. And I think the 7, Blinker's going on first time. Again, these regional races that come to town with these type of connections, they can improve out of sight coming to town. And I thought 20-1 might just be a little bit overs. That's how I saw it. AD?
Just notes I've got on the race is leave me out. Obviously, this is a Derby sort of, it's a lead-up race to go to the Derby here, boys. But Riff Rocket was impressive last start at Flemington. It picks itself, doesn't it?
I think so.
Sorry. So much more I can add.
It went like a fucking rocket last start. Aptly named too.
It did. But look, it'd be interesting to see. It's, the Derby is a 2,500 metre race. And, this generally is a lead up to that. So, you might find there'll be some horses here that are just looking for that further, and they're probably not going to show you much in this race, but don't disregard them. It's one of those races I'll need to check next Monday to have a look and to do a review, which is very important for me. So, but look, can't really add much, can I? Any of us? No.
I'm very intrigued to see how
you guys might be a bit more brave than me. I don't know.
No, I'm just intrigued to see how the 4 goes, because Lake Shin up in distance, Waterhouse Spot probably goes to the lead in this race. So, but nothing for me here, Vince.
I like the favourite again, Paul, and it's number 2 again. And everything else looks great value, but they've still got to get past Riff Rocket, and I don't think they will.
That's the thing. He just gets a lovely run in behind him again. It's almost an identical run to what he got at Flemington, and he's got the best turn of foot in the race. Let's move on. I don't want to waste time on these first 2 races, maybe even the 3rd race as well. Tropical Squall, odds-on favourite for the Guru Syndicate. Hippo gets the ride. Waterhouse Spot, $1.95. We'll go straight to the front. Barrier 12. AD. Is it as simple as that?
No, I don't know. I've got a bit more interest in this race. I haven't had a bet, but look, 2,000 metres ethereal. It's generally the lead up to the Oaks. Very similar to the race before, where it's led up to Derby. Interesting to see how much ease Tropical Squall, or lack of ease, if you want to put it that way, manages to get the lead. I suspect it'll get it easily, but you never guarantee these sort of things. I thought the filly thing. Conasana won last start well at Moonee Valley. I actually backed it to run the next day at Flemington. They ran it on the Friday and it ran, but it was $2 and wasn't a beating proposition for me. But she won well at Moonee Valley, and the step up in distance won't trouble it. Also want to keep an eye on the Rosemont horse at the bottom there, Everlasting Kiss for Trent Nat and Blake Shin. I suspect the Wakeful at Flemington, which is in a fortnight's time, might be the better race for it. So, again, don't have much of an edge. Hope we're not boring the punters. Trust me, you might want to stick with us. We've got some fireworks later on. Very soon, actually. But
they're all odds on.
Not much happening here, boys. And viewers at home, it's just not happening.
Well, this is the thing, and this is the thing as well, Vince, is that even though we've got these odds on favourite, there's no real holes in them. It's just the price, and sometimes staying out is the best thing and the best advice for punters.
Well, some people might say, well, tell us what you think's going to win. Let us decide whether, it's a good enough price or not. All they're looking for is tips on who we think will win. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if our recommendation is it's too short to bother, risking your money on, well then, we can only say what we think. But look, I'm with you. I like the top weight, but. In fact, all 3 of our favourites in the first 3 races are on paper, very good things. But, racing is a funny game and they don't always come through.
The thing is, they're easy to get rolled. I know they look good on paper, but I'm telling you, there's probably going to be one of them that's going to get done. And the reason why, I don't know about you boys, but I assume you'd be similar. But we're not having any bets in these races because there's just no value in them. What's the mate? They race every day. You don't, just for the viewers out there. I'm sure you're aware and you've been guilty of it. I was like this when I was younger. There's just no point chasing these fucking $1.50, $1.90 shots. You've got another. They're racing every day for the rest of the year, except for Christmas. We'll find something else, mate.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one down the bottom there, 12, looks like a profile for that type of stable AD. You know how they are, Bussin and Young, up in distance, 20-1. Good
each way value.
Well, yeah.
I can almost guarantee you, no matter where it runs, that Everlasting Kiss next start, it'll most likely go to the Geelong Classic, or it'll go to the Wakeful. I'm going to say it's going to go to the Wakeful. Being at a Justifier, probably a bigger track might suit it, and it's not going to be 20-1. You're going to get $10, and it'll just be the right race for it. And I want to see how it runs on Saturday, so I get an idea of how it's going, or a better idea of how it's going, I should say.
All right, let's get a wriggle on race 4. I've got a bit of an interest here. Race 4, our favourite is Dark Halo. It's about $2.90. Facile, which means easy in Italian, for those wondering. And then we've got another Italian connection here. AD, you like this one, Don Corleone.
Now, Paul, you should be calling this race.
Trust me, at the top it is
Matty Hill will probably call that horse Facile.
Facile.
And he'll call it Corleone.
Don Corleone. But
anyway, great caller. It's a great caller.
Never mind.
I was very, very, very keen each way. Number 1, Arkansas Kid. Not too fussed about the run first up. Don't worry about it. Had cardiac arrhythmia. Tongue tie goes on. Damien Oliver's booked. Barrier 1. I think it'll have a lovely little stalking roll from the inside gate. The 7's taking up too much in the market. Like, its debut win was good, but $2.90 first time in town. Barrier 8 can be a bit awkward at Caulfield as well. And the 8 is, it's sort of broken its maiden as well off of what? It's off it's off a 68 at Warwick Farm and $3.10. Whatever. I like the one each way here, boys. AD?
Yeah, so look, interesting race, you guys. Set weight and penalties for the 3-year-olds. There's probably expected to be a lot of hot speed here with Facile, however you Italians want to call it. Dark Halo, Gumdrops, and Critique, all looking to find the speed. And I don't think this lot of the top-notch 3-year-olds, which is why I believe that the races, from what I see, it's very even. And I haven't priced accordingly, and I think the value here lies with the filly at the bottom, Gumdrops. She's a superb first up winner at Ballarat. I think she parks herself in the first 4 here, and just what I'm looking at. Yeah, she'll be in the first. I expect her to be in the first 4 in running, and she'll give us a great run at a price. Like, they put up $81. I actually can't believe that. It's completely the wrong price. I have her an $18 chance in a tight field where I've assessed them $4 the field. So, I found Gumdrops to be worthy of an each way bet. I've actually had a decent crack here too. I think she can run top 5, and logically, or I think she can run top 5, and I've got her $18, and she was 60s and 80s. I was backing her each way at the price. And
I was just going to say, so therefore you're the one responsible for it going from 80-1 to 18-1.
No, it's not. No, I've marked it $18. It's not currently $18. It's about $31.
I know.
But no, I got some at 60-1 each way. Majority of it at 50s, but. You're going to understand. When you've got these things marked 18-1, it costs you less to win on them. Like the value that there's. If I've got it 18-1, it means that I believe that it's probably going to win. If they run the race 10 times, I suspect it's going to at least win it. It's got a 5% chance or just a bit more, a 6% chance. Whereas the market's got it as a 2% chance, or did have it as a 2% chance. And what it cost me $300 to win 12,500 on it. Like instead of having $300 on a $4 shot. So yeah, look, I think it'll run well each way. Next best I have is for Chile, which is the next best in the race. I was on Don Corleone last start at Flemington up the straight. I'm happy to be against him this Saturday. He's a horse I think that will get out to a bigger price. I suspect Don Corleone probably going to start closer to about $5 or $5.50. But look, in an even race, anything can win, obviously, and I've got it $4 a field. I'm big believer of this horse. Gumdrops for Seamus Mills and Seamus Mills, the owner, Mick Price, the trainer, and Jamie Carr, the jockey. The only problem is Jamie's fucking going horrible at the moment, so I'm going to need to find another gear. But yeah, I just thought 60-1 and 50-1. I didn't get the 80s, I'm sure. I don't know who did, but good on him. I just thought each way was a very good bet. And there is still some value. Like, you can get 30. I'm just looking at now. You can get $34. Yeah. TAB, other joints as well. Like, it's I still think it's worthy of a bet. If you can, my advice would be just to have something on at the place. If you're going to have $20 or whatever your budget is, make sure you have something on at the place. I think it'll go well.
Big Vincennes?
Well, boys, I reckon just about any horse could win this race. This is a far wider open race in my view than what the market would suggest. There are lots of horses there at 20 and 25 and 30 to 1 that could potentially take it out. I did like your each way on number 1.
Yeah,
but I do think that the 8 will win for Chile.
Okay. Yep.
So that's my tip as far as winning.
Nice.
But anything could win.
Yep.
I'll probably stay out of it, to be honest.
Yeah. No, fair enough. It's probably one of those races. Let's go to the 1,000 Guineas Prelude. Inhibition's the favourite at 440. Lovely looking South Australian raider for the Gluyas Camp and Car Camp. $4.80, and it is Core Volante at $6, and it's double figures for the rest from what I'm looking at. I'm spewing this 3 has drawn barrier 17 because the way she won first up was sensational. They went berserk up front in the Scarborough. I liked it, but I thought maybe the 7 Azula could run a nice race. There's form lines coming from everywhere here, AJ. I don't know how you match them all up.
No, I did. Well, you answered it for me, Paul. In short, I didn't. My notes for the show were to leave me out. I've got no interest in this race. This is just ridiculous. It's just, I didn't waste my time.
No, Vince, anything here?
How much of a prelude is it to the 1,000 guineas? Do you reckon?
We'll find out soon, won't we?
Exactly.
1,000.
I love these races that are called preludes. They never end up working out the way the prelude did.
No, but anyway. they've pushed back the 1,000 guineas, I believe, to the 18th of November, which is
Rupert Clark Day. Yep.
Which means
it's 4 weeks. So it's 4 weeks away from now.
Yep.
Yeah, and just on a side note, next week there's a horse running at Moonee Valley that's prepped up for the 1,000 guineas. I won't tell you yet, but she's running next week, and at Moonee Valley. And if my numbers are anything to go by, she's the one you want to be on for 1,000 years. I'll tell you after the show, but I'm not interested in this particular race on Saturday at Caulfield. I don't really like it.
Okay,
let's move.
I like the 8. I like the 8 for what it's worth. Inhibitions. Okay. James McDonald, James Cummings.
Yeah,
very consistent. Hard to fault its form.
Yeah,
you know, it's even. You know, it's short enough, but it's still each way. So
connections as well this time of year makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Have to respect it without a doubt.
Yeah. Race 6, little intriguing race. We've got a little small field here. Midwest is a scratching, so a little bit of speed comes out of the race. We have 2 horses battling out for favouritism, Lofty Strike and Spacewalk. The one I didn't mind, and I was actually on at each way odds last start, was Generation. Blinkers first time and just had absolutely no luck behind Imperatrice. He should have finished much closer. So if I was going to lean into one here, something very, 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 very tiny each way on the 2 Generation. Didn't get a fair crack at him last start, but the one best horse in the race, clearly Lofty Strike, but God knows where he gets to from the barrier, and there's not a lot of speed here. AD?
Yeah. No, look, now that Midwest has been scratched, I expect Duel to put himself in the race there with Indian Pacific. I can't see how both of those don't sit in the first couple. I think Mickey D on Duel should let John McNeil on Indian Pacific take the lead and hunt up inside him and not press him too hard. So if I'm trying to articulate myself or envisage it how I saw it when I was at home, it was basically, letting Indian Pacific lead, Mickey D just parking outside of him, but not going too hard, and those two controlling the race. And if that's the case, Duel will outsprint him in the straight. Spacewalk has an opportunity now to park itself one by one, stalking the first 2 with General Bow. Duel, albeit off a benchmark 78 run first up, has returned good numbers, and it puts itself in the race. As I said, I expect it. If it doesn't lead, it probably parks outside the lead. 1,100 back to 1,000 metres, I'm not concerned. I think there's a dangerous horse this week, and I've backed him to win. I think he gets services Mickey D, and he's a massive shout. I think this horse is. Look, it's probably been disappointing considering what it was as a 2-year-old, and an early set, But look, I think the horse I'm petrified of is Generation, Paul. It has not won for a while with his 2 runs, his prep. But after reviewing his preparation thus far, his 2 first up runs, he's run 4th and 7th. Yeah. He's going a lot better than what he has been the last 12 months.
I thought he went super first up. I thought he went super.
Yeah, he did, and even second up, I know he ran 7th. Don't read into where they run. You have to look a little bit deeper. But look, Lofty Strike's favourite seems to be weight the race severely, if you ask me. And honestly, I probably would need to start today for it to win. I need him to be closer to. I've got him closer to being 350 to 370 at the jump, and I'm happy to be against him. He's currently 290, lingering around that 290 to 310 mark with most joints. But I suspect he's going to go. He'll probably start closer to 350 or 370. So, but yeah, I'm on Duel. I've had a bet on Duel, or as Blake Shin when he called it when he was assessing it. He was riding an opposition horse, Blake Shin, and he called it Dual. And I'm thinking this is an AFL legend, Bruce Duel. It's named after Bruce Duel. He's called it Dual.
Vince thoughts.
Yeah.
All I can say is it's an omen bet for all Carlton supporters.
That's not why I've backed it, but yes, I see where you come from.
There you go. Blues. Go Dooley.
Hey,
I'll be backing Dooley purely on its name, Paul.
Dooley's up on your frame in the background there, isn't he?
Yeah, you can see the headband, can't you? There's right there.
See him right there. He's right there. Look at him. He's right there.
Yeah, that's him. Where is he?
There he is. Yeah.
He's standing on a magpie.
Sounds about
anyway,
right.
That's the Carlton Team of the Century poster, but all nicely framed and signed. But after hearing what Adrian said about Duel, that's good enough for me. I'll be backing him each way. You can get good each way odds on him as well.
Yeah, but he has to run top 2, Vince. Just viewer discretion
or
just a disclaimer. He's got to run top 2. And look, to be honest, I didn't back him the place. And the moment I didn't do it and the fucking prices collapsed, I'm going, you know what? I'm going to watch this thing run second. Like, I can just say, I'm going to be burning if this runs second because it was like $6 the place. So obviously in a field with no third dividend, I was like, fuck, have I missed an opportunity? Anyway, I rarely second guess myself, so I'm not going to start now.
I'm a bit like you. I don't like backing horses for the place when there's only 7 or less in the field, but
it's correct.
Yeah,
it's danger. But let's go to the next race, shall we? The Tristarc over 1,400 meters. C'est magique for Graham Begg. I'm begging you.
Begging you.
Skew
Great song from Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons back in the day.
There's a modern version of that too.
Is that
Skew
right?
Favourite.
I'm showing my age.
Second favourite Skew if it was scratched at the barriers last start, but it gets a run here. Barrier blanket goes on. Wrote to Arataki, $5.50. Bolts on by $6. No, really, just for me here. I think Say Majik is probably the best closer of the lot, but I had wrote to Arataki going forward. The only question mark for the 8 is the 1,400 meters, but nothing for me here. Maybe the 9 can improve. Call D had a bit of a freshen up last start, but that's what Gerald Ryan usually does with a lot of his horses. So invariably they run well off that setup, but maybe up in distance it can run well at each way odds, but nothing for me here. Didn't mind the 1 Matt Pomeroy, but I don't like 16 back to 14. So nothing for me here. AD?
No, even lot this group of mares. I mean, all the 4-year-olds except for Roto Arataki, which is a 5-year-old. I'm uncertain who's going to want the lead here, but whoever does may sort of have the upper hand. Just looking at it. I mean, I've got Walt on by with speed ratings here to get in front.
Yep.
No guarantee to. But yeah, look, Damien Lane, if he does decide to go that path, he can control this race as he pleases. And Call Die, that horse you mentioned, Paul, at the bottom there for Ryan and Alexiou up from New South Wales can be more positive from that gate.
Yep.
And I expect Blake to force the issue roughly about the 500-metre mark. Look, these leaders might be left vulnerable a little bit late. I think the 2 horses that can come right over the top of them Wrote to Arataki for Matt Williams and Yendall, and Wollombi for Peter Snowden and Jamie Carr. Yep. Subject to how the track looks, I am interested in Wollombi. I have not backed her yet because I need to go see something. I just want to check something before I have a bet on her. Yep. But she was impressive, returning good numbers at Wyong. And then she went to Newcastle where she started $3 favourite and she never looked likely. I'm happy to be somewhat keen on her at the price. As I said, I'll say it again, I have not backed her yet, but she is in my calculations.
Yep.
The big horse, Say Majik, look, not really knocking her. It's more just the price thing.
Yeah.
She'd need to get to $4.50 for me to sort of somewhat have any form of interest in her. And I just thought Madame Pomeroy's, with last year's 1,000 Guineas winner, she looks like she's ready to be a mum. I think this prep could be D-Day for her. I don't know whether it's Saturday, but she has not, since she won the 1,000 Guineas, her runs in the autumn, she was satisfactory, but her runs in the spring thus far they've been pretty average. Look, I could be wrong. Sometimes these Waller horses can bounce back off what would seem disappointing runs, so you can't disregard her. But to me, I just think she's ready to go to the barn. But look, having said that, she probably comes out on Saturday and wins by 1.5 hard L.
That's usually the case, isn't it? I was the same with you, AD. This race they're an even bunch. 8 Saint Magique should have finished much closer to Star Patrol last start. When you have those runs at Flemington up the straight and you have to dart back to the inside, you've missed 4 lanes of horse and you've got to check off 4 heels, and it can be a disaster.
Just catch up. You're just playing catch up,
the run should have been a lot closer, but 350, whatever. Nothing for me here.
Do you know what's funny? When I wrote this thing down, it was last night, and I'm saying she has to be $4.50 to have it for me to entertain her, mate. She was $3.30 last night. Like, she could start she could start close to $5.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's the price to be on, but like you said last week, do you really want to be on when they're $3.30 out to $5?
Well, we saw it with Red Card where she went out to like $4.70 after, or $4.60 after opening, $2.40 on Wednesday.
Still running.
And she just, we got that race right, but she just never looked likely. But over to you, Vince. Have you got an opinion here, mate?
Oh, mate, these are too hard, these mares. I find it hard with females at the best of times. So,
4-legged ones or 2-legged ones?
Both.
Or there's actually
and let me tell you, you don't make any money out of either type.
There's 3 of them if you include the one who used to be an assistant coach at Carlton. I don't want to say its name. The unidentified entity.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me.
Someone's going to have a crack at me for that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Let's not get into that, shall we?
No, I won't. Look, if you forced me to have a bet in the race, I'd probably have a little bit on, where is it? Road to Ataki, number 5.
Yep.
But that's all.
Fair enough.
I was forced to. But otherwise, I'd stay out.
All right, let's move on. Race 8, the race before the big one, the Moonga Stakes. Nunthorpe favourite, $2.50. Buffalo River backed in early markets, $4.60. And then it's $7.50 Times Square. Mugawa, who's a bit of a money muncher, $9.50. The Fortune Teller, $9.50. And Climbing Star at $7 too. Mr. Maestro comes back into this race, I believe, gelded, from what I'm looking at on the reports. So a bit of a spell, bit of a layoff. The speed I had, obviously, Nunthorpe and Buffalo River, they can go and contest it with Fender. Maybe something can come off their backs. But, Mr. Maestro, something tiny each way if you had to twist my wrist. But, tough race. Nothing for me here. No value with the 10. 8-8.
Yeah, no, not really interested in the race. Nunthorpe Buffalo River lead.
Yep.
Thought map-wise, Fender and Fortune Teller get best run. But these two might, Celine Gaudreau and Blake Shin on Nunthorpe and Buffalo River respectively might just control the race and not give anything else a chance. And the market reflects that. They're 1 and 2 in the market. But, I'm Harvey Norman here, boys. No interest.
Yeah.
No interest.
Vince?
I'm similar, but if I was to have a little bet here, I would probably try and get a bit of value and just put a little small bet each way on number 1, Mr. Maestro, which, if it has been gelded, should now be called Mr. Maestrino.
Oh, my God.
Or just call it Maestro.
Can we get Google Translate?
Or Mr. Maestrino might be the right word.
It'd be right down there, I reckon.
We call Mr. Salami if it keeps running the way it has been.
God. No, that's a fair point.
No, not salami. What's that other ham? The
mortadella.
Mortadella. Mr. Mortadella.
Could very well be that. I think whoever gets the rail out of 3 and 10,
boys?
I think will be the one. Yeah, I got you. You're loud and clear. You're loud and clear.
Yes. Here.
All right.
No.
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Hello.
We got you.
Cool.
Yeah, we got you loud and clear. All good. All right, Caulfield Cup time. Let's get on with it, shall we? Gold Trip, favourite, 550. West Wind Blows, second favourite, 650. Salcombe, and Without a Fight on the similar line of betting. Breakup at $9.50. Valiant King has been well backed. It's $11. Huya Mal at $16 and Montefilia at $15. Those are the ones in the market at the moment. The speed comes from horses like Huya Mal. Goldman will probably push forward. West Wind Blows from the inside gate will probably want to use it up as well. So will Breakup, who can settle potentially 2-3 pairs back up on the speed too. AED, we'll start with you, sir. How did you see this playing out?
Yeah, no, look, I could sit here for 45 minutes and talk about the race and still be none the wiser of it.
Yes.
Look, my pricing model's got it somewhat close to the current prices that you're seeing now.
Yep.
Gold Trip, Salcombe, Breakup, Francesco Guardi, and Akita Sushi, I thought were the hopes. I have backed Akita Sushi each way. Let's just say in the most inconspicuous way that the right people have backed this horse in the all-in markets, and if you know what I mean. And I've been informing a few people close to me, such as Paul, yourself, and Mars, and just a few other people to just keep an eye on this horse and have something each way in the all-in markets. I was a bit concerned that we were concerned it wasn't going to get a start, but as things would appear, it has got a start. And yeah, I expect it to run well each way. Other than him, I'm almost certain that Salcombe and Breakup, the Japanese horse, will command some support in the betting, along with West Wind Blows which was an impressive run.
Yeah,
when it ran second in the Turnbull, beaten just under 2 lengths to Gold Trip, the current favourite. Look, it's clearly rather a tricky event. Yeah. The one thing I will say is the barrier for Francesco Guardi may suit it, and this is another reason why I want to go to Caulfield and have a look later tonight. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Like it. Vince,
but
yourself?
Yeah, Akita Sushi, boys. Yep. We're praying to everyone in the world that it does something.
Fingers crossed. Vince, your boy, Gold Trip, he returns here as favourite after you tipped him nicely each way in the Turnbull. Are you with him again here?
Isn't it funny how one run can switch the odds from 30 to 1 down to 5s? The market is so gullible.
That's all you. They're worried about you, Vince.
No, I don't think so. It's amazing how the market just sort of keeps looking in the rear vision mirror all the time. But look, I'm actually not tipping Gold Trip on this occasion, although I think he'll go very close. I think he'll come second.
Yes.
I actually like number 2, Without a Fight. The fact of the matter is, Mark Zara has actually swapped hoops here.
No, hang on.
Swapped horses here.
I think you're a bit misinformed there. Sorry to cut you off.
What?
So, just to give you, I've been tracking this situation.
Have you? Okay, right.
Okay, just to give you a brief rundown. Kieran Maher and his offsider David Eustace could not make up their mind after it won in the Turnbull whether they were going to progress to the Cox Plate or go to the Caulfield Cup. Mark Zara's self-interest wise, or however you want to put it, has gone, well, I don't want to go to the Caulfield Cup without a ride. So he's committed. Enough. He's committed to Without a Fight, not knowing that Gold Trip was going to the Caulfield Cup. He was hoping it was going to go to the Cox Plate. Like me and most other punters, we didn't think it was going to the Caulfield Cup, but he did not hop off it. He just didn't want to rock up to Caulfield this Saturday in the main race and not have a ride. I apologise.
Well,
sorry.
Well, okay. This just solidifies my tip for number 2. It'll be a punishment for the trainers in not bloody making a decision. Mark Zara will make them pay by winning on Without a Fight. Anyway, I do think he will have a fight on his hands. That's for sure. Look, it's always a great race, the Caulfield Cup, and hopefully this particular one lives up to the billing of other past Caulfield Cups that have been exciting to watch.
Is that all
right? So, look, I have gone for number 2.
He wanted to vacuum. He's asking me what time can we vacuum, and I said, just give us 10 minutes.
Oh, right.
Por favor.
Tell him you'll let him do it without a fight straight after we're finished. So number two Without a Fight. to beat number 1 Gold Trip. So it's going to be the Mark Zara double, so to speak. I've thrown in number 6 West Wind Blows. I think it was very impressive in the Turnbull, and I think he can live up to that run again. Wouldn't surprise me if this horse wins, actually. And number 18 Valiant King, I think, gets the draw. Won't have to go around a horse, really. It should stay up close and hopefully get a nice cushy run and run home well for 4th. So I'm going with the class, boys. 2, 1, 18 and 6.
Yep. Love it, Vince. Absolutely love it. I am going to be with 3 Breakup. Gets a beautiful run from the gate. Can just settle in behind them. These connections as well. Damien Lane on a Japanese stayer. Always tough to beat. 14 and 18. So 3, 14 and 18 for me. The O'Brien duo. And
tell you what, you're right into the Japanese flavour this Caulfield Cup.
Mars was asking
3 and 14.
About number 3. He was asking me. Mars asked me about Breakup, and it's. I think he can win.
Is he a forgotten horse here, AD? No one's really talking about him.
No, I just think to take the Ralph Horowitz / Nick Williams line, they're not interested in winning suburbs. They want to win cities.
Melbourne
they want
Cup
to win the Melbourne Cup. Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. He did run in the 10-0 show.
It goes good, mate. Don't be discouraged if you like it. That Breakup, it goes pretty good.
Yeah. I'll be with 3. Just to summarise, 3, 14, and 18. Those are the ones I'm going to be with in the Cup. So double figure odds. Play those, and you should hopefully find a winner. Last race on the program, and then we'll be done and dusted with Caulfield. Vivian, $2.80 favourite, looking for 6 wins in a row. This horse from Matty Allerton. Not often you say that about these type of horses.
Wow.
Hypothetical, $4.60. Gennady at $6. And it's double figures for the rest. Look, 5 Vivian, she's in great form, but $2.80, leave me out. Gennady, like the resuming run. She's got some sort of talent. She's had a couple of issues, but I reckon the stable might have her right. She'll have last crack at them here, and hypothetical can improve. Start at $2.80 in a listed race last start, and I think can control it from an inside gate, and I think we'll get a nice run. But those I was against the favourite just at the price, Vivian, but 6 and 11 for me. AD.
Yeah, look, there could be mad speed here with 4 horses going at it in the last here. The favourite Vivian, no knock. For me at the price, in a tough race after she's won 5 in a row, there's literally 4 to 5 chances here. I actually backed the John O'Shea horse Salteri, but they've saved it for another day. I backed it last. Yeah, a bit annoyed at that. I thought it was in with a massive shot in this race.
Yeah.
So having said that, I won't be having another bet. My original bet is scratched. I agree with you, Paul. I think you mentioned hypothetical could be an improver.
Yes.
And I think the number 4, the Cliff Brown, Little Miss Kubi, it's probably a little bit overs, but it's a bit discouraged when I saw Saltere get scratched. But happy to put the feed up at 10 to 6 on Saturday night.
I think that sounds like a good idea. Gennady for me in this one, the 11. Mare off a win. Like I said, I think the stable have got her right now. And I think she's just going to have last crack at them here. She should hopefully settle maybe 2-3 pairs back and be hard to hold out. I know she settled outside the lead last start, but she's shown that she can run from off the pace as well. So, number 11 for me, Gennady. Vince, anything for the last before we get on to harness?
Well, you can't fault winning form, but I don't like the price, so I won't be having much on it. But I dare say, seeing it's in the get-out stakes, therell be so many punters that are wanting to get out in front, or at least even that
they'll be on this for the national debt.
Yeah, I reckon this horse will come into even money on the jump.
You reckon?
You should have seen them all over Amelia's Jewel last week, mate. They were backing it like that.
Ridiculous.
They were backing it like the country. They were trying to get out of the national debt, mate. Like
no, you mean Victoria's debt, AD. Victoria's debt out the national debt. The way
Victoria's debt, Adrian. Victoria's debt now is so big that it's actually overtaken the entire debt of the country. That's how big it is.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
That's a nice call, Vince. I like that one.
Ridiculous. Thanks, Dan.
Well,
You're
put it
not
this
wrong.
way: it's more than Queensland, New South Wales, and Tasmania combined. But this is not a show about politics.
Why don't they just fold our state? Wouldn't that be easier? No.
Just lay the state.
You know what they should do? They should bring out the Daniel Andrews Cup, and the winning horse. The connections of the winning horse have to pay the money rather than actually collect the prize money.
Oh, jeez, imagine that.
That's how bad we are here in Victoria.
Not going well.
Anyway,
all right, let's sum up. Best bets. I'm going to sum up mine. Race 4, number 1, Arkansas Kid, a nice each way bet in that race. Race 6, number 2, Generation, a nice each way bet on that. And then in the Caulfield Cup, the Coffee Cup, 3, 14, and 18. Breakup, Akuta Sushi, and Valiant King. AD, best bets from you, sir. What do we got?
Yeah, look, I don't have a best bet, but the horses that I have backed are race 4, number 10, Gumdrops each way.
Yep.
Race 6, number 7, Dual, whatever state you're from, and if you don't know,
it's spelt the same as Dual. It's Dual.
I know, but we've got Blake Chin, a Victorian, who's called it Dual. I haven't gotten over it ever since I heard it.
Dual.
And I've backed race 9, Akita Sushi each way. I am keeping an eye on race 7, number 6, Wollombi. I'm yet to make a decision on it. And Francesco Guardi in the Caulfield Cup race 9. I have not backed it, but I'll be keeping an eye on it. I'll work out what I want to do and get my affairs in order within 24 hours.
Nice. Vince, what do you got for us?
Okay, best bet. I'm going to go straight to the Caulfield Cup, number 2 without a fight.
Love it.
Each way.
Yep.
I think you'll get your money if you back this thing each way.
Nice.
And the other one I did like was race 5, number 8, Inhibitions with James McDonald each way as well. So that's it.
Nice.
All right, fantastic. Let's skip into Gloucester Park. Are you going to stick around with us, AD, for the harness set?
I will, mate. Sure.
There we go. All right, let's get into it.
I've got the cleaner here eyeballing me.
The cleaner.
It's got to do the vacuuming, mate.
If you've got a vacuum and mute, just tell them it's okay.
I'll do that. Hey, excuse me. You can do the vacuum. Por favor.
You are kidding me, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
This is what's happening.
I'm not.
Hands and heels.
You're going to make our audience seasick just watching.
I'll take Paul's advice. I can hear you, but I'll put the mic on mute. I'm here now.
We'll be fine. All right,
I'll be here. I'll stay.
Let's get into Gloucester Park for tomorrow night, Friday night. Pacing, chasing, and racing at the lovely Gloucester Park.
Bloke's burning, mate. He's had to stay back an extra fucking 5 minutes.
Mr. Smarty, favourite in the first at Gloucester Park. Big Vincennes, the Cowden Insurance 3-year-old Western Gateway.
When you say the first, you mean the first race that we'll be previewing, which is
That's
race
correct,
5.
Yes, race 5.
Yes,
correct.
Indeed. Yes, this is one of the 2 features on the program at beautiful Gloucester Park, my favourite circuit in Australia and my favourite meeting for the week. And it's on every Friday night, and there's generally 10 races, and I love it.
Love it. What do we like here, race 5?
Okay, well, look, unfortunately, the main danger to the favourite has been scratched, number 4, Never Ending, which also had Gary Hall Jr. listed to drive it. So now that it's been scratched very hard, and now Gary's on his own father's horse, Mr. Smarty, number 1, impeccable form. You know, it'll start probably odds on. I can't see it getting beaten, to be frank, from the draw.
Yes.
You know, if anything beats it, I don't know what it's going to be. Probably the only one I can think of that would have some chance would be number 5 went very well last time, Mickey's Beach, but I don't think it's going to be anything close to it here. number 6, Lasaka, with Denny Roberts for the Bond stable. That might be one each way that you could have. And number 10, Drawn to Follow, the one.
Yes.
Louis Dior with Ryan Bell to probably fill the placings, but I can't see number 1 being beaten. So number 1 from 6 and 10, and probably, all the others are going to be such long odds, it's not funny. But I'll probably throw in the 11 because it'll get a good run through as well from the second row.
Beautiful. Yep, and it's so often we see the 1 and the 10 Quinella these races.
We do. It's amazing how many times it comes in and it pays quite well too. 1 and 10 Quinellas or exactas.
Okay. All right. So that's race number 5. Race 6 at Gloucester Park. Storm Skies $3. Second elect. Cyclone Charlotte $1.70. $8.50 for Taking the Mickey. And we've got an emergency 13. Steno at $4.80, but that's probably going to be scratched. Anything here, Vince?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yep.
Here, the favourite will be number 7, Cyclone Charlotte. Not well drawn in 7, although don't be surprised if it comes around them early on in the race and just simply just hunts up to the lead and takes over from whatever's in front. It'll probably hand up to it. So I do think it'll win, number 7, if that's what happens. If it's forced to work, it can still probably do some work and still win, but it won't be as easy. From number 10, Taking the Mickey.
Yep.
Which is in good form. Number 12, Born to Boogie, is a bit of a chance there with Chris Lewis.
Nice.
You'll get good each way odds on that.
Okay.
And throw in the 1, Stormy Skies, for 4th. So my numbers will be 7, 10, 12 and 1. But, on both of these, I expect, my tips to win, but you're not going to get great odds for them.
Yeah, okay. All right. So maybe more each way plays in those 2 races.
Just quickly, in an instance like that, Vince, would you be inclined to have something on the place on something?
Yeah. Well, if you think, for example, in the first race, if you think, for example, Mr. Smarty number 1's too short for the win, I'd be going on something like number 10 for the place or number 6 for the place, because you'll get far better odds than what Mr. Smarty will even to win the race. It'll probably be almost money back the place, Mr. Smarty.
Yeah. It's a fair point. Well, well summarised there.
But, you can always play around with your exactas, trifectas and that sort of thing as well.
Yes,
sometimes if you're prepared to, back make maybe 2 or 3 horses for second and then go field for 3rd and 4th, it's quite often, the big price horses that come in 3rd and 4th and all of a sudden the first 4 pays, quite handsomely.
4 figures.
That's often the way to go with these races,
All right, let's get on to Geelong. They've got a little feature event or a feature night down the highway. It is the Geelong Pacing Cup. That's race 6, but we're going to go back a race, the McNamara Cup, which sees 1 overall for Sugars and Tubbs, $1.90 elect, drawn barrier night. Now, is this on the second row, Vince, here, or is this on the front row?
No, this is a standing start. So what you've got here is handicaps.
Oh, yes, it is, yes.
And the McNamara Trotters Cup is essentially the Geelong Trotters Cup, okay?
Right,
It's named after someone called McNamara, obviously, but that's effectively Geelong Trotters Cup. Why they've done that, I don't know. But what you often see at other tracks is that they'll say the McNamara Geelong Trotters Cup, but they've left the word Geelong out for some reason.
I thought they named it after the local souvlaki shop down there, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't think the local souvlaki shop's owned by anyone called McNamara, Adrian. It's probably someone like Con or Spiro or George.
Is this favourite going to win, or is something going to beat it? Is Chris Alford going to stalk them here?
Well, look, I do think that the number 4, if it gets a clean getaway, look, all of these standing start races are largely dependent on how well you can get away from the tapes.
Of course.
If your horse, starts to gallop and stumble and not get into its gait properly, it can lose 100 metres within no time. So that's what makes some people nervous on standing start racing. I actually think standing start racing is fabulous. It's fantastic. It gives you great odds on the best horses because they often have to start 10, 20, 30 metres behind. So you're actually getting a price. And it actually gets the other horses a chance to actually win the race. I do think that the class runner of this race will win, number 9, even though it's coming off a 30-metre handicap, 1 overall. the distance of the race is long enough for me to be confident that it will actually overcome the handicap. It's 2,570 metres. It's the highest rated horse in the race, and I tend to go with class in races like this. So 1 overall with Greg Sugars to win. I do think it'll get a lot of opposition from the 4, Clyde Valley Hotspur with Chris Alford, which I expect to get away and lead the race.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Stamper, a really interesting up-and-coming horse, which won on its last start. I think it's could be anything. This horse eventually, still maturing. Like the driver James Herbertson, he's flying at the moment. He'll be the state driver of the year yet again. I think he's something like 60 wins in front of his next opponent. He's on something over 200 winners already, and we've still got 2.5 months to go. It's an enormous achievement.
Do you imagine that happened in the Gallops, Paul?
Oh, just be front page news. It's ridiculous.
But these guys, you got to understand that these guys have pretty much daily meetings around the state. They don't go to every single meeting, but they do probably go to 4 or 5 out of 6 or 7 race
Still
meetings
incredible.
a week.
Good effort.
No, in fact, sometimes you'll find them at the day meeting at Bendigo and at Melton that night, and they'll probably have 12 or 13 drives for the day.
Spot on.
Anyway.
All right. So
they're my numbers there. 9 to beat, 4, 7. And what I'm going to do here, by the way, Paul, is throw in a horse purely for sentimental reasons. Number 6, Leanne. Now, do you see who's the trainer and driver is there?
Kuchenmeister.
Yeah, that's 82-year-old Bob Kuchenmeister. And he won on this horse earlier this year at a feature race meeting. I think it was back in late January of this year that he won a trot race right at the end of the program, and everyone was absolutely wrapped for him. He got the standing ovation, and so Leanne, bit of a sentimental bet. If you got a $1 each way, whack a little bit on that horse.
Hopefully we're not too worried about the horse making it to the finish line. Is he going to make it to the finish line?
No, I'd wish him all the best for it. My official numbers are 9 to beat, 4, 7, and 8. But I wish him all the best in Leanne, which is drawn number 6.
Fantastic. All right. Last race before we wrap everything up. Geelong Pacing Cup. Rock and Roll Do $1.75 favourite. MacDan 440, and a horse I've got a bit of a soft spot for in Major Moth, drawn the inside gate at $4.60. It resumes.
Yes, the soft spot you've got for it is the soft spot in your pocket, which is laden with cash after you backed it at Melton about 12 months ago.
Might have had a fair wager on that when it resumed at Melton.
It was a good night for you that night.
It was a very good night. Beyond the Light 850. What do you like here, Vince? Again, favourite hard to beat, but seems a bit too short for me. I thought MacDan, Gath Stewart could potentially track the 3 and could be the one. I thought the 3 was too short.
Yeah, look, this horse frustrates me because he's very hard to follow. Rock and Roll Do. He can be so brilliant at times, and then at other times he leaves you shaking your head. I'm. Look, in these types of races, it's hard to go past the Emma Stewart trained horses. They are just always in the money. Doesn't matter which way you look at it. I couldn't believe that last week in the Victoria Cup, Emma Stewart won her very first Victoria Cup. I shook my head thinking, you've got to be kidding me. But that's what happened. Yeah. And then went on and won the Victoria Derby, or the Victoria Oaks, was it?
Yeah, the Oaks.
Victoria Oaks.
Is it her or is it fucking Clayton Tonkin running the
show?
There?
It's a bit of a team, but who knows these days. They put her name up there, but it's basically Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin. Good Carlton supporting people.
Well, if that's the case, I've got no issue.
Exactly.
I'm happy to turn a blind eye if that's the case.
Yeah, Clayton loves the Blues. I can tell you that much.
There you go.
So I think you might be right here, Paul. I think you're onto something. MacDan. To be driven by Kate Gath, I think she'll give it every chance, and I expect her to win from number 5, Beyond the Light. I like the way this horse is going, and I think it can actually be right in the finish.
Right.
3, Rock and Roll Do, and number 1, Major Moth. They're my numbers. 4, 5, 3, and 1. And Geez, didn't Bulletproof Boy put up a fantastic performance as the outsider of the field in the Victoria Cup last week to run 5th in a 5-way go at the line? I mean, he wasn't more than probably a long neck away from winning the race.
No, I know Mars was pretty happy with that now at 80-1, so good on him.
Unbelievable.
So
there you go.
Get what are your best in the harness for this week? Just one in each race if you had to pick, or you had to pick an absolute best before we wrap up.
Look, I think you'll get good each way odds on MacDan. I actually think you'll get good odds on it. So that would be my each way.
Sorry to burst your bubble. Sorry to burst your bubble there, Vince, but they've already found it. It's 480.
Oh, what? That's come in since I looked at it.
MacDan in race 6 at Geelong.
Yeah.
So that just tells you you're on the right path, mate.
Sounds like some others that are on the same wavelength as what Paul and I are. Yeah.
Might get back
out.
out.
I still think it's a good bet at $4.80. So if you can jump on it now, jump on it now.
Yep. Lovely. All right. Well, that'll do us. That'll do us, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 3 is done and dusted. Caulfield Cup this weekend. Handy little harness race meetings this weekend as well. And next week, we've got one of, if not the most prestigious weight for age race in the world in the Cox Plate. It is going to be a phenomenal night. And I actually can't wait to do the preview of that with you three as well. So
it's the best meeting in the whole thoroughbred.
Love it.
In the thoroughbred calendar. I don't care what anyone says. You can throw Everest, throw any other race in at me. But that weekend on the Friday and Saturday, it's the best weekend in racing.
Yeah.
And no one can change my mind.
It's going to be.
I'm not going to try and change your mind. I agree with you 100%.
I love it. Thanks, boys.
It's going to be a cracker. That's it for episode 3 of Hands and Heels Caulfield Cup. Good luck with your bets this weekend. Gamble responsibly, of course. I have to say that. Vince,
always.
AD,
like, subscribe,
doing it with you.
All of that.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment as well. We've had some.
Give us some comments. I'd love to hear some feedback. Like, let's get involved. You disagree with us, or you like something. Just, mate, I enjoy, interacting with the people, like talking about it. So why not?
Bloody oath.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, if you've got tips or selections, leave them in the comments or the live chat when we go up. So. This will be up Thursday night. It'll be up for the next couple of days. We'll promote it on the Jumper Punch page and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
I'll put it up too. We'll do the repost.
Yes, follow AD Weekend Grill on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at PolarSeb05 on Twitter. And Vince, you've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the whole works, and you can see your lovely head on the Jumper Punch as well. So we'll wrap it up. You go and walk the track, AD.
One last thing, Paul.
Yes.
We saw him last Saturday night at the Victoria Cup night at Melton. It's his 65th birthday today, so a big shout out to Peter Brownie, who does the Blue Sunday show with us every Sunday night during football season. Fantastic. We're on our off-season break at the moment, but big shout out to Brownie and happy birthday, mate. Now you can retire officially at 65, apparently.
There you go. You get the pension. There you go. All right, guys, that's a wrap.
I look forward to watching it tonight. Thanks, boys.
Thanks very much. There we go.
See you, Vince. See you, Paul.
Good punting. See ya.
All the best. Good punting, guys.